Imagine serving your country with honor, only to return from duty to find your family can't live with you because your housing has been condemned. And yes, this is happening right now at U.S. military bases. In a recent Senate hearing, lawmakers from both parties demanded answers and accountability for the appalling living conditions faced by U.S. service members. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated on the stories that matter most to America's military families.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the panel for being with us today. There's one aspect of the United States military which is not unique but is noteworthy that I have always marveled at, and that is the efforts made to prepare the men and women who serve in your various branches for battle and for service, which include not only your training, obvious training, but civic education as well. But all of our branches of the service have been careful to draw the line when it comes to partisanship and political involvement. And I would say with the time I've been involved in public life, very few exceptions, men and women in the military do not display partisan feelings when it comes to politics in America. This side of the table is largely political animals. That side, particularly those in uniform, we expect to be somewhat down the middle of the road, not involved in any partisan identification activity. General Smith, am I right in that observation?
Senator, you are. We are apolitical by nature.
Why is that important?
Well, it's important to our Constitution because we support the Commander-in-Chief, whoever he or she may be.
Admiral Kilby?
I concur.
Secretary Phelan?
I concur.
I'm glad. I hope that I had dinner Saturday night with a friend who had been in the military for over 30 years, and he said his greatest fear was evidence he's seen of partisan activity in the uniformed military. I hope that doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't favor my party, their party, any party in that regard. I'd like to say a word, or have you say a word about the quarterdeck of the Navy, which is what we characterize Great Lakes Naval Training Station. It's the only boot camp and primary surface warfare specialty training center in the United States. And in the state of Illinois, we are damn proud of it. I think one of the things that I'm concerned about is quality of life, always. I can recall speaking to a chief petty officer who was transferred from Virginia to Illinois and asking him how his family liked Great Lakes. And he said, I didn't bring my family. I left my family behind in Virginia. I said, why? He said, because the schools here are not that good for Navy families. I think that's changed because that observation was made many years ago. But I'd ask you, Mr. Secretary, when it comes to quality of life, what efforts are you making? What efforts should I be making to address any quality of life issues for those who are part of Great Lakes?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. Obviously, important one to you and one of my top priorities as well, as I mentioned in my opening statement. I continue to visit as many infrastructure bases as I can, and I am examining a number of different things. One, some of the private management of our infrastructure and bases. I'm still trying to understand how that economic model works and what exactly are we paying for. To be honest, I was in Guam and driving by a set of barracks in Guam. I saw a perfectly manicured golf course, and I saw buildings which I thought were condemned, which actually had sailors and Marines in there. So I stopped, went into the barracks, went into two different unaccompanied housing barracks with mold all over the place, a bathroom that was beyond words. I instructed the admiral there to have our sailors and Marines out of those barracks within 5 days or 10 days, because I had just toured a brand new barracks that we had built that was apparently going to take 4 to 5 months to be inspected and cleared for them to move in, yet it looked perfectly fine to me. So I will guarantee you we are going to change the quality of life. We have initiated with the Navy a full review of the barracks. The Marines did that last year, and we're beginning to initiate changes on that. I've heard the complaint you talked about families not being, when you have two service members, one being deployed, being sent somewhere else from the other. We're going to try to fix that because it is a key to our retention, is their quality of life.
I would
and
just
key
say,
to readiness.
just in the few seconds remaining, what you just described in Guam is similar to a situation we're facing at Great Lakes. One of the privatized military housing communities sat empty because 70% of its units were condemned and unlivable. Imagine that. It strikes my heart to think that the men and women who might have occupied that would be in those circumstances. We can't let that happen. When it comes to access to education, it is one of the highest priorities of all families, including Navy families and Marine families. So it's my priority too. Thank you.
Sir, it's appalling, and we are going to fix it.
Thank you. I want to help.
Subscribe now if you think our troops deserve clean, livable housing now, not later. Much of this crisis can be traced back to one decision: privatizing military housing. But who's responsible when buildings fall apart? Secretary Del Toro admitted he's still trying to figure out how some of these private contracts even work. In Guam, he saw a manicured golf course next to collapsing barracks. Priorities are completely out of sync. It raises the question, are private companies profiting while troops suffer? We'll be following this closely. Hit that subscribe button to stay informed as new investigations unfold. The Navy and Marine Corps are now conducting full housing reviews. New inspections are underway. And yes, some new barracks are being built. But as Senator Durbin emphasized, this can't be a slow, bureaucratic fix. The situation is urgent. Durbin said, "It strikes my heart to think that men and women who serve would be in those circumstances. We can't let that happen. Let's not let it happen." Subscribe now and be part of a community pushing for real change for our service members. This is about respect, about dignity, about basic human decency. The men and women who defend our country should never be forced to live in broken, dangerous, or condemned conditions. As the Senate demands answers, we'll keep covering it. We'll keep asking the tough questions. Hit that subscribe button, share this video, and comment below if you or someone you know has been affected by military housing conditions. Let's make our voices heard and make sure no soldier is left behind in silence. Subscribe for more on military and policy. Watch the next Military Pay Crisis Explained.